Hey guys, Crafter here. Welcome back to another UHC Duels episode. Today's commentary, we're going to be focusing on something that I've recently gotten into, which is running, as well as why I got into running in the first place. For those not in the know, I've never been much of a runner growing up. At most, I would only do running for one of two reasons. One being for fun in terms of games like Manhunt and Tag, which I only really played in elementary school. And the other reason being for mandatory classes like gym. And the last time I took a gym class was in grade 9 when it was mandatory, but after that point, I didn't really have to do any fitness, so cardio kind of went out the window. At the very least, I was going to the gym because A, my father would push for it, and B, I was also doing cardio in the form of swimming, since part of my job as a swim instructor is making sure that I'm in good enough shape to save someone if need be. But besides those two things, in terms of actually running, I'm just out of practice. Now recently, my girlfriend over the last few months has been practicing running herself, and she's been getting really good at it. And something that I want to be able to do with her is to be able to go on a run and be able to keep up with her pace. Unfortunately, I'm underprepared, and I promised that I would go on a run with her a week before we would actually go on the run. And this is going from zero practice, so I knew I was kind of cooked. Knowing that I was on a little bit of a time crunch, I strapped on my Apple Watch, downloaded an app called Strava to track my running, and I went for my first run. It wasn't very long, only 2 kilometers, but I kept at a pretty good pace of around 5 minutes per kilometer, and was able to keep it up for at least 2 kilometers before I had to stop. Now, for a novice runner, I've heard that that's a pretty good time. The only 2 problems was, again, this was in my neighborhood, so I didn't have to traverse any tough terrain, and the other fact being that I only ran for 2 kilometers. Realistically, if we were going to go on a run, it would be 4 kilometers and above, most likely 5 kilometers plus, so I really needed to make sure that I was training to go for longer distances. On day 2 of running, when I was preparing, I thought that, I'd just simply run a 3 kilometer because the 2 kilometer run didn't feel so bad. And I had the brilliant idea of doing my run right after my workout because I thought, I can do 2 birds, get them done all at the same time. Of course, as soon as I get home from the gym just to go on this run outside, I realized that, I'm way more tired than I thought I was. If anything, I just had no energy to keep going. The other issue as well was that my ankles were just hurting like crazy. I guess it didn't really come to mind at the start of the run that I would need time to recover from running. I thought that, it's not like a weight workout. It'd be fine if I just go the next day and I rest well the night prior. But no. If you've never run before, or if you haven't ran in a very long time, it's very hard on your legs. And this became very evident as what was once a 5-minute pace turned into a 7+ minute pace per kilometer. Unfortunately, I only ran 2 kilometers because the pain in my legs was just so much that I could not keep going. And I might be making excuses here, I won't lie, I kind of was in the quitter attitude, but it was just very hard and I couldn't will myself to go further. I was just too tired out. I severely misjudged the difficulty and I knew I had to stop and take a break. After the fail of day 2, day 3 was a little bit better. I decided to go right in the morning at 7 a.m. for my run, and I did better, around 6 minutes per kilometer. But again, I only ran 2 kilometers because the soreness in my legs had only gotten worse. Well, yes, I had more energy. I failed to really do any proper recovery. So day 4 was just spent resting at home. Eventually we get to day 5 where I run for the last time before I go to run with my girlfriend, and I was able to get a 5:44 per kilometer, which is not bad. I did run for around 3 kilometers, but I knew that as soon as we go on a run together, it's probably going to get harder. The day of eventually rolls by, and I feel ready as ever. I know that I had made some progress from my running, that I can keep up a decent pace, but as soon as we started running, all of my thoughts of conserving my energy, making sure that I'm taking my time, go out the window. For whatever reason, I thought that I needed to go fast at the beginning just so I can keep up. But it became apparent when, by the first kilometer, I had already passed my all-time best time that I knew, whoa, I'm going way too fast. The fact that I even set my best time on a trail with a lot of inclines and declines was surprising to me. But what's not so surprising was that after that first kilometer, I started trailing behind and my speed just kept on getting slower and slower. Luckily, I was able to run over 4 kilometers, but for a long stretch of the run, I couldn't even see my girlfriend. Like, she was just zooming by. She was so fast that by the time I got close to the end, she was already running back, and she just told me to turn around because I was gonna take too long. And I was like, damn, bro, I'm not that fast. I'm freaking slow as hell. Whilst unfortunate that I wasn't able to keep up with her, I know that with continued practice as well as proper rest, I'll be able to get up to a point where I can eventually confidently run with her. It's just that I probably set my expectations too high by thinking that I could probably get it into shape within 1 week to run well enough to keep up with her pace. Turns out we're probably gonna need a month or so to get up to that speed consistently. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I apologize for how dry my audio probably was because watching it back, it sounded very monotone, which was not the intent. I guess I was just more burnt out than I thought when making the recording, so my bad on that one. I guess part of it is because of how last minute this recording was, so that's kind of a me issue, so I'll be working towards fixing my recording schedule as well as pumping out more content that might be more interesting for you guys. In any case, if you guys enjoyed, let me know. If there's anything that you guys want me to cover, let me know as well, because I'm open to any video ideas. But until then, thank you again for sticking around to the end. Take care, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weeks. Peace, guys.